Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Kinga and I'm making YouTube videos to document for myself and some of my friends how I reinvent myself and my whole life after divorce. And I have to admit that this journey is probably very long, but also very interesting. And before the whole self-reinvention can start, I believe that there's a lot of self-discovery and self-healing that has to happen. And part of it just happens, on its own or by itself, like just because you step on, this is how I feel about this, that, just because I stepped on this path to go through this whole self-discovery process, there's like lots of new things and information coming to me almost every day. And I had a certain issue. I've been having that since I was a child, and it always caused me some troubles in relationships. And I've been, recently thinking of jumping into a new relationship. Not thinking, but like, everything is evolving or pointing to that direction, that there may be something coming up. And because of that, I wanted to make sure that I get rid of this problem. And so I had a therapy session with my therapist. For me, a therapy session doesn't mean, just talking and talking and talking like you would normally do that with a psychotherapist. For me, it's about, naming the problem and then most of the time using the family constellation technique to solve it, because that offers a very rapid solution. It just, you feel it almost instantly, that it just takes that stuff out of your system, and you feel this healing happening straight away almost, and not just right then, but also the next couple of days you will feel a lot of energy shift, and not in just you and your surrounding, but even in people who are connected to you. Family constellation is an amazing technique. Okay, so back to what I wanted to talk about is, so I had this session last week about something else, but I do believe that this whole self-discovery process is like, like peeling back the layers of an onion. It's like you start peeling it one by one, and after a while you don't even have to force it with your hands. I think you just have to allow the layers to slowly peel back by themselves, and this process is actually, it lets you find these hidden parts in you and lets those hidden parts emerge, and then you have to deal with them. And I also feel that once you step on this path, you will get a lot of help. Help in forms of information's coming to you, or someone saying something, someone saying the right thing that will trigger something in you, that will make you realize something, or and the whole process helps you not just discover yourself, but also heal different parts of you. And this is what happened to me yesterday. I was talking to a person who, I think we were talking about children, I'm not even sure, but this person said to me that I would be curious to know what, or it will be interesting to see what kind of mother you will be, or it would be nice to see what you will be like as a mother, or something like that. I can't really remember it word by word, but that was the point he made. And first I was like, what do you mean? Like, you meant to ask what kind of mother I would have been? And no, he was like, what kind of mother you will be? And that, it touched a part of me somehow, but I didn't really know what it was then. So I was just, I just put it to the side. I was like, I'm not even thinking of this. I don't want to talk about this, because I just felt that this would bring up something and it would get me in a very sensitive state. So I just pushed it to the side and I was ignoring it. And you have to know this about me, that I'm pretty famous within my friends and people who know me. I'm pretty famous for sort of campaigning in the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years against having kids. It was like I had this tremendous amount of anger inside me towards having kids. And what's scary is not just that I made a decision that, hey, I don't want to have kids and I'm okay with it, but you know, it's okay that other people have it. I also had this whole negative view in me towards the whole having kids vibe, as in when I heard of a friend getting kids or having kids or someone I knew, I couldn't feel happy for them. I felt this, oh my God, like that's one of the like one of the worst decisions they made. But I kind of like, sometimes I felt sorry for them. Like it's terrible, I know, but I had this very negative and very intense feelings towards even other people having kids. And I've been campaigning against this for years, and every time people asked me about having kids, I was like, oh, no, not for me. You know, like I was so resistant to the whole idea. And I remember that I even made like a podcast and a YouTube channel in Hungarian, mainly dedicated to a lot of different subjects, but like it was mainly focusing on why it's so stupid to have kids and all that kind of stuff. And but I was interviewing, people from both sides, people who thought something similar like I did, or people who didn't have anything against it yet still decided not to have kids, and then also people who had like 4 kids. I've got some friends, amazing friends who have 4 kids. And but it wasn't like a debate, but yet I was kind of like, it was a platform for me to also let out my anger about the subject and let out my views and thoughts. And so I just thought that there's something in me against the whole idea of having kids. But if I go back a couple of years, about 6 or 7 years, I have to be honest that even then I felt that this feeling inside me was so intense that it was something I had to pay attention to, or it was something that it was trying to tell me something, or it was something that wasn't necessarily a clean thought and feeling. It wasn't necessarily coming from within me. It felt like it was coming from somewhere else, and I kind of took it on me, and it just felt, it was so intense that it kind of felt foreign to me. Like, why do I have this thing? I have to be honest with you, it's like there were times when I felt this huge frustration and even hate towards pregnant women. And now I can see that it's because I had this anger inside me, which I kind of projected on them. But seriously, when I saw someone with kids or someone pregnant, I was like, oh. And I felt the anger and the frustration. And I just had this revelation today, about an hour ago, what happened. The truth is, whenever I was telling myself and the whole world that I never wanted to have kids, and I think it was the dumbest decision ever to be made, I lied. And I lied to everyone, and I lied to myself, and I made myself believe it. And today when I was driving home, this whole scene came to my mind. I just remembered what actually happened. This was about 7 years ago. I met my ex-husband, the one I just got divorced from. I met him 8 years ago. And I think about 1 year into our relationship, I had this huge, very intense desire in me for having a child with him. And I remember it was so intense. I never, ever had such an intense desire for something in my life. And it was so intense it felt like, you know, when you're so hungry that you're starving, and you know that you're starving so much that if you're not just gonna grab a bite, even just a slice of bread, you're gonna die. It was that kind of emotion inside me. I had this huge desire for having a child, and it felt like if it's not gonna happen now, that's the end of my existence or whatever. I knew that it was so strong that I knew that this desire I just had to satisfy right then, no matter what. But I remember that, you know, because it was only just 1 year into our relationship and all that kind of stuff, I felt really kind of insecure or shy about bringing up this topic. But I finally got the courage, and I remember it took me a while to get myself together and get the courage to actually step up to my then boyfriend, and I said it to him that I'd love to have a child with you. And I got a straight no back. And he's not an awful person, he's the loveliest guy ever. So now I understand him, that the reason he said this, because we spoke about it after that, the reason why he rejected the whole idea was because he felt that our surroundings right then were not ready for it, and he wasn't feeling secure financially and all that kind of stuff. So that's understandable. He probably should have communicated in a much nicer way, or in a more complex way, where he can still say no yet not make me feel so awful as he did. But that was not his intention, but it happened. So this is something I realized today, that when he said no and he rejected the whole idea, it felt like a personal rejection to me, and it seriously broke me. And it was a rejection of me and the whole idea of having a child, and I can't really express it, but it was so painful. And I know that for a while I had this anger inside me, and I think all this frustration and anger towards other people having kids and stuff, I think it all started after that. Because I saw my own loss in that and my own rejection. It reminded me of that feeling that I experienced when he said no. And I think the way I tried to solve it, or fill that hole in me, which was ready to receive a child, I had to fill that hole, because it was painful. It was seriously like when you're starving and you need to grab some food, otherwise you die. And so I suggested to him that we get a cat. So we got a cat. And this cat became our baby. And you should have seen this cat. Like, she was always, for example, when we were sleeping at night, she was always in the middle. And she made sure that a part of her body touched me and a part of her body touched him. She was always in the middle. Like, there was this interesting energy about it, because this cat represented sort of a bond between us as well, but also separation. She always physically separated us, mainly in bed. And then I think it has a meaning. And what happened after that, slowly, is I started to experience that my whole physical or sexual desire for him was slowly vanishing. We've been talking about this for such a long time, and we were always looking for outside reasons why this was happening, but there was this slow separation between us in our intimacy, and it got to a point where our marriage became a sexless marriage. And when I was thinking back, I always knew that it was kind of me who initiated the whole thing, but I never really knew why. I always made up reasons and excuses that kind of made sense, but today, when I had this revelation today, it all became clear to me that me rejecting him that way was my response to him rejecting me and the idea of having a child with me. I know he had no evil intentions, seriously guys, he's not the kind of guy. So if he knew this, he would have reacted in a different way, or he would have said something different. But it just happened that way, and it pushed a button in me, and we just our whole, marriage went on a different path, which slowly led to the end of it as well. But it was very interesting for me today to get this whole understanding and this clarity on this issue. And probably if that person yesterday wouldn't have said what he said, probably this whole process wouldn't have started in me. So I'm thankful for that. It had to happen. But it was just, when this whole clarity came to me today, it was so painful, like I cannot explain. Like even now it is very painful. But I know that, crying it out of my system and probably gonna sleep it off as well later, it's a part of healing. And understanding a certain issue and understanding where it came from and what caused it and all that stuff, that's also a huge part of healing. I'm just amazed how things work, like how these layers of the onion getting peeled off or peeled back, and how it just reveals more and more things about me. And I'm very thankful to be able to go through this process, because I learn a lot of things about me, and I get to heal a lot of hidden things in me as well. Sorry for the cut. I had to get rid of the snotty nose because he was probably very disturbing and disgusting to watch. So, a part of me is in pain right now, but another part of me is very grateful for being able to go through this with a clear head and to be able to get it out of my system. I'm going to meditate on it. I also have this, I think, part of the pain is also for this unborn child. Who I would have already have by now. And yeah, maybe some of you say that, it's never too late. I could still, well, for women, there's a point when it's too late, but I'm 39, I'm 40 next year. I think it's too late for me. I may not want to do it, and also I guess you need to find the right partner to do it with and to want it with. But I would never put myself into a situation where there would be a chance to get rejected again. And I'm also pretty convinced that not just me, but anyone can live a perfectly happy and full life without children as well. I don't believe that, children are the key to happiness. They can definitely add a lot to your life, but you can live a perfectly happy life without them as well. But it's just interesting how strong, like what a strong opinion I had towards not having and having kids, and how it just changed in me in the last, I don't know, an hour maybe. Well, I wouldn't say just in the last hour, because it's been a slow process. I've been kind of feeling like, like all this anger and frustration in me towards kids and parents have already been released a while ago. I kind of made peace with it. Yet I was very strong-minded about never wanting to have kids. And what really woke me up was when I got separated from my ex-husband. And I met a guy, and he really wanted to have kids with me. This was during the summer, or in August, I think. He really wanted to have kids with me. And at first I was like, no, we shouldn't even, get together if that's what you want, because I'm definitely 100% sure that I will never want to have kids. And I think, after a week or 2 weeks into our relationship, the way he was talking to me and the way he was reaching my heart, and it felt like he was talking to my heart, it kind of opened up different things in me. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's something I would love to do. And that was the first time when it shocked me. I'm like, I hardly know this guy and I already feel like I'd love to have kids. And why did I have this resistance in me when I was still in my previous relationship? And then I just got reminded of something that a person told me years and years ago, that whenever a woman is rejecting a child, for example, she gets an abortion or she just says no to having a child with someone, it's never a rejection of having the kid, having the child itself. It's rejecting that partner that she has, because deep inside that woman knows that she doesn't want to be with that person. So that's what happened with me as well, I'm pretty sure. Okay, that's it. I think you already got the point. My intention was not to make like a very emotional video, but I just had to get this out of myself, and I wanted to come clean, and I wanted to admit it to myself that throughout all these years, whenever I said I never want to have kids, I hate kids, I even said that I hate kids, that was probably not true. I lied to myself. And it kind of feels, I kind of feel this sadness toward that unborn child, or the possibility of it being kind of gone, because I am already almost 40 years old. And yeah, it just feels really, really really bad right now. Okay, I'm in a lot of pain. So what I'm going to do after this video is I'm going to meditate. I'm going to listen to a lot of music, because music helps me release negative emotions and vibrations too, and meditation as well. And if you're going through something similar and you think that you can't fight this on your own, I highly recommend that you go to a family constellation session. You look up a therapist in your area who does Hellinger family constellation, because guys, that therapy is really one of the best I've ever tried. It helped me in so many ways. So I'm going to say goodbye, and thank you for watching this. If you liked it, give it a like. You can comment, because I'm going to read it. I'm going to respond as well. I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, and also if you click on the bell sign so you get notification every time I release a new video. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
If you want a more intimate content and daily communication, please go and join my Facebook group called Kinga, Kremer and Friends.